It's a great day here. One of my faves when I have Barbara Chamizo joining me at Inside the Mastermind. I love it.
Oh, awesome. Thanks for having me here. I love coming. It's always so much fun, and you guys are always so inspiring. So you're great to be around, and I really appreciate being here. So thanks.
You are so welcome. I love having you here. You're my last guest of the day, and obviously it put a smile on my face. So I love talking to real estate agents. You're just very special to me, and I want to talk about, obviously, real estate today. I want to talk about maybe what got you into real estate, you know?
Gosh, that's a great story, because I remember my buying and selling experience and all the stresses that came along with it and the exciting points. And I thought to myself, wow, being an agent, it's exciting, and there's so much to know and learn. And just to give you a little bit of history about me, I'm a mom of 3. I was in the pharmaceutical and tech business and recruiting and benefits, and I also started at a startup company. But then when I had my family, I took some time off and
too busy.
Just too busy.
Right, too busy as a mom.
And so when I went back in, I was like, well, what do I want to do where I can get some balance, but then also really help others? And the reason why I chose my career in real estate has a lot to do with my family roots and upbringing. I had a lot of family members, aunts, uncles, people that grew up in the Great Depression, and we talked about finances and the importance of saving, and what does the meaning of owning a home mean, right? It's the American dream.
Right.
I mean, and it sounds so like, the American dream, cliche, but honestly it is. It's most people's biggest asset. It's where you make memories, dreams happen, happy times, stressful times, right? It's a really special place, right?
Yeah, it is.
And that's something that when I help clients, it's always at the forefront of my mind, right? Home ownership affords you a lot of wonderful things besides the home and growing there, but also your biggest financial investment. And I always felt, growing up as a kid, my dad would always tell me how important it is to buy a house, how important it is, to save and live within your means. And so it was just something that was always there for me. I went into real estate in '08 when the market had turned. And I thought to myself, but things will turn around, because when you invest and over time, at that time when I went in, values were down, and now you look at them and they're up, right?
Right.
And so it was a great time for me. What I really enjoy about my job is educating clients and the consumers, investing in time with them, building relationships. And I think that's really helped me. It gives me great gratification and satisfaction when I help them sell a home. But it also helps me build relationships, and it's my reputation on the line, right? It's what others say about the work that I do, and my integrity and value and all the things that I do to help, first-time homebuyers, people who are repeat customers, investors. For me, it's my core why, right?
Which is important to have and to understand about ourselves.
Yes.
Right? It's a self-gratifying too, and we know our why, that people are just so important to you. And if you can make to you, it's a small difference in their life, but to them, it's a wow difference in their life, right? Because when you look at their overall picture on what this creates for them, it creates financial freedom, a lot of things in time for them, that you are instrumental. You're an instrumental part of that process.
Right.
And I don't think they're not just clients to you, they become friends to you. You can tell how passionate about it that you are, and about these people.
Yes.
Which makes it so special.
Yes.
So yes. I think I love that your why. I think a lot of people struggle a lot of times in their life for many years as to what their why is. And the fact that you already know what your why is, and that you are actually living, breathing it every single day. I think there's nothing better that if we're in our last, breaths of life, that you can say, I did that,
Yes.
I figured that out.
Yes.
So you're a really, obviously a really great real estate agent. And I know that, I want to go into this next question because it's about real estate, and it's about the market, what it's dictating right now. It's a seller's market. But the importance, a lot of people think, well, I'll just sell by owner with a home. But maybe you can shed some light on the importance of hiring a real estate agent versus just putting a sign on your lawn and trying to sell it on your own. There's so many important factors to having a real estate agent, right?
Oh my gosh, there are, and especially in this market, the client's like, well, I can just put it on the market and the house is going to sell itself, right? But there's so many things that go into selling a house, right? It's curb appeal, it's staging, it's presentation, it's marketing, right? And for the money that you decide that maybe you're going to sell as a for sale by owner, the client may say, well, I don't want to pay, the escrow fees and the commission fees. Well, if you hire an agent, you can make so much more because that agent is going to know what the market value is in the neighborhood, what the market condition is like. A lot of times now the market condition is very different than what we see, right? It's very different than, it's kind of, things change. It's a condition. And it's important, if the consumer is really not in touch with what's happening, they may undersell their house, right?
Right.
So, and when there's so many things. I could just go on and on, right? I could talk about marketing, I could talk about curb appeal, I could talk about staging, but and then also just knowing your market and knowing what the other house is selling for and what it's pending for and what you can negotiate on behalf of your seller, right? You may have a buyer that's trying to bulldoze you and you agree because you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So it's important to hire an agent because education is an understanding what the market, that's the key thing here. Because a lot of times when you see a home that's listed on the market, it doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to be the market condition price. And I think that's the key. It may be listed at the last market comparable or market sale in the neighborhood. However, right now, even though with all that's happening, right, our condition still currently in North County, Del Mar, Leucadia, Carlsbad, Cardiff, Encinitas, there are way more buyers than there are sellers. And so we get into a supply issue, right? You guys have all heard about what's currently happening, right? We have all these supply chain issues, right?
Right.
It's the same with housing, right?
Right.
And then also too, balancing, you need an agent to help balance that because you may get an agent that may be able to have a client or a buyer with a larger bandwidth with another. And if you don't really know what to look for, you won't know. And what if you get a buyer that might even pay over that market value, that last market sale or market value price? Because the appraisal, that may be 90 days old, but what's currently happening is changing so much and so quickly. You could be losing out on more than just paying the commission to your agent. So now you may have lost out on hundreds and thousands of dollars.
Right.
And that's the reality of it. And that's why, I always tell clients who want to sell by themselves, okay, that's fine, but let me show you my value. And it's your biggest investment. Why wouldn't you want proper professional representation?
Right. Okay. Thank you so much for your insight. It's a pleasure always having an interview with you.
Oh my gosh, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm grateful.
Me too. Thank you.
All right, thanks.